do it for Miami Dolphins.
The pressure, he's in trouble. Loses the football. Touchdown! Got it!
You have got to be kidding me.
Jalen Waddle. It's a Dolphin touchdown.
Throwing deep upfield on the near side. Man open. Touchdown!
Looking deep, he's got a man. Touchdown!
The run from Tua Tagovailoa.
Touchdown!
He's going deep. He's got it for the touchdown.
Beautiful day to be a Dolphin fan.
Let's go!
What is good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason, and I'm joining you today instead of our usual nighttime you've settled in slot. I'm joining you on your drive home, or if you just got home from work not too long ago. If you're cooking dinner, turn your boy up and let's do this. We are going to preview the game this weekend between the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets, and we're going to talk about a lot of other things. And one of the things I want to start off saying with you is be out on the lookout. Tomorrow morning, I will be dropping my interview. I just recorded it about an hour ago with Daniel Oyefusi of the Miami Herald. We talked a lot of stuff. We talked our head's going to roll this week if we don't make the playoffs. His thoughts on the collapse, his thoughts on McDaniel, his thoughts on Lamar Jackson and Tom Brady situations, Sean Payton, Jim Harbaugh. We talked about it all. It was a great conversation between me and Daniel, and as all y'all know, Barry Jackson is my guy. But besides Barry, David Furones and Daniel Oyefusi, I think, are doing the best job out here on the beats. The young bloods are doing the best work. I truly do believe that, not just saying it. And so we are going to have that interview dropping for all y'all tomorrow morning. All right. So that interview, I'm going to be dropping that. Look for that. Look at it for it before noon. It'll be out before noon. Okay. So be out on the lookout for that one tomorrow. It's like an hour conversation, and the hour flew by. That's how good the conversation was. So I implore all of you to go watch it. We talked about everything, man. Nothing was off the table. It was a great conversation. I know all of you guys will enjoy it, continuing to get you ready, because I'm going to tell you right now, spoiler, Daniel believes we're going to make the playoffs. So, and DF, maybe I'll do it for you that, because I was thinking around that time anyways. So it'll be, look out for it around that time, okay? Put it out for you there, okay? I want some of y'all to be able to enjoy your morning coffee and all that kind of stuff with it too. So, it will be out well before noon, all right? So I'll be dropping that in the morning, and even if it affects the views or the algorithm of this video, so be it. It is a great conversation. So I actually wanted to record it Wednesday and drop it for y'all yesterday, but just with scheduling and stuff, it didn't work out. But y'all gonna love it, man. It's a good interview. So listen, guys, where are all of these fans? Where are the Fairweather Dolphin fans? Where are all y'all? We got the playoffs on the line this weekend. And if you would go amongst the Miami Dolphin fan base, you would think it's a funeral on Sunday and not a shot at the playoffs. Listen, I've told y'all once, I've told y'all before. The reason why you haven't seen Reason jump off the cliff into a canyon of emotions on screen yet is because the playoffs are still in the realm of possibility. Until we are eliminated, no, I'm not going to be one of these over-emotional, over-the-top, out-of-pocket people. I'm not going to. Because they were the same people goo-goo gagaing over everything that was going on when we were 8-3. They were either haters of Tua that were quiet when we were 8-3, or they were goo-goo gagaing, and Tua's the MVP, and McDaniel's coach of the year, and Greer's executive of the year at 8-3. So, listen, I'm going to let this play out. Period. And I'm not going to get over emotion now. We lose to the Jets, because I'm going to tell you this right now. And we could talk about Josh Boyer at one point tonight, too. There's an article I'm going to go over with you guys about Josh Boyer. We got a lot to go over tonight, not just the preview. And I'm going to tell you this right now. Josh Boyer, Omar Kelly said it on Twitter, I saw, like, not too long ago. Brother, if you can't beat Joe Flacco and the Jets offense, if you can't shut them down, should you even be a defensive coordinator in the NFL right now? That's where I'm at. Listen, I know Flacco earlier on this season had a couple 300-yard games, had a couple big games. I get all that. But that man has been riding the bench. Okay. We're not talking about Super Bowl Baltimore Ravens, Joe Flacco. Now, he can get the ball out, and they have weapons. Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, Zonovan Knight. Like, these guys haven't rushed as a team for over 100 yards in like 5 weeks. And we're going to get into that with all the keys and stuff tonight. But, my God, Josh Boyer, if there was ever a game where you were going to prove you are the man for the job, hello, New York Jets, Week 18 win, and you're potentially in, because we all know the Bills are going to take care of business. Shout out to Damar Hamlin. The tubes are out. He FaceTimed the team today. The Buffalo Bills told him he loved them, and he's speaking on his own. He's breathing on his own. Damar Hamlin is on the road to recovery. Go get it, young man. Live your life. So much life to live, Damar. Live it. You've earned it, young man. We are so proud you fought through that. We are so happy. Thank God. Thank God for Damar Hamlin's recovery. It's beautiful stuff to see him recover from such a ugly, nightmarish situation. Man, just keep getting better, young blood, every day. And so anyways, listen, the Bills are going to come out and stomp the Patriots. And what Fins Up 305 is saying is incorrect. The Bills are not going to rest their starters after KC wins on Saturday because of what the NFL has implemented. There is just too much on the line right now. There's just too much on the line if they sit their starters. They can't afford to, and I'm going to show you why. Let's hop into that right now before we get into the game preview and everything. Let's talk about this because this impacts our game, obviously. So here's what's going on here, okay? So let's go over this together. So canceling the game between the Bills and the Bengals creates potential competitive inequities in certain playoff scenarios. In an effort to mitigate those inequities, NFL clubs will consider tomorrow in a special league meeting a resolution recommended by the commissioner and approved today by the competition committee consisting of two elements. The AFC Championship game will be played at a neutral site if the participating teams played an unequal number of games and both could have been the number one seed and hosted the game had all NFC clubs played a full 17-game regular season schedule. Those circumstances involve Buffalo or Cincinnati qualifying for the game as a road team and are listed below. Scenario 1. Buffalo and Kansas City both win or both tie. A Buffalo versus Kansas City championship game would now be at a neutral site. So Buffalo needs to win because if they want to go to the AFC championship game and potentially face the Kansas City Chiefs, that's your only way of having it a neutral site. If they lose to the Patriots, it will not be at a neutral site. Number 2, Buffalo and Kansas City both lose and Baltimore wins or ties. A Buffalo versus Kansas City championship game would be at a neutral site. So they would need Kansas City to lose. But then, if Kansas City lost, they would be playing their guys because they'd be wanting the number one seed. Scenario 3, Buffalo and Kansas City both lose and Cincinnati wins. A Buffalo or Cincinnati versus Kansas City championship game would be at a neutral site. So right there. Number 2, if Baltimore defeats Cincinnati in Week 18, it will have defeated Cincinnati, a divisional opponent, twice, but will not be able to host a playoff game because Cincinnati will have a higher winning percentage for a 16-game schedule than Baltimore will for a 17-game schedule. If Baltimore defeats Cincinnati, and if those two clubs are scheduled to play a wild card game against one another, the site for the game would be determined by a coin toss. If Cincinnati wins the Week 18 game, or if Buffalo and Cincinnati are not scheduled to play one another in the wild card round, the game sites would be determined by the regular scheduling procedures. So basically what this is telling you right now is no. Because Bills, if they win on Sunday and Kansas City loses, they have a better winning percentage, so they get the 1 seed. That's the thing too, right? If Kansas City loses and the Bills win, winning percentage. Because of the whole winning percentage thing, that's what makes this a big issue. That's what makes this a super, super big issue. So, I mean, the Bills, I just do not see how this is. I just don't see. I don't know, man. I just don't see how this is not going to. I just don't see a way in which they don't play their. You know what I mean? So here's what they passed 4 hours ago. That was what was being tabled. And now this is what they passed officially. Okay? And it's 2023 Resolution G1. Whereas the January 3rd, 2023 game between the Buffalo Bills and Cincinnati Bengals was suspended following a life-threatening injury to a Bills player, and the game was later postponed. And whereas the game was subsequently canceled because completing the game would have no effect on which teams qualify for the playoffs and would have required postponing the start of the postseason play. And whereas at the time the game was canceled, multiple AFC clubs had an opportunity to be the number 1 seed in the AFC, including hosting the AFC Championship game. And whereas the membership wishes to mitigate a possible competitive inequity that may result from having the host team for the AFC Championship be determined by seeding based on teams playing a different number of regular season games. And whereas the membership wishes to mitigate the additional potential competitive inequity that may result from Baltimore and Cincinnati playing an uneven number of games, such as Baltimore cannot win the AFC North Division and host a potential playoff game against Cincinnati. Resolved that for the 2023 season only, the AFC Championship game will be played at a neutral site to be determined by the commissioner if A, the participating teams played a different number of regular season games, and B, the lower seeded team in the championship game would have been the number 1 seed in the AFC if a full 17-game regular season schedule had been played by all AFC clubs. And further, resolved that unless both participating clubs could have been the number 1 seed in the AFC and host the championship game had they played a full 17-game regular season, the game shall be played at the home stadium of the higher seeded team. And further, that if Baltimore defeats Cincinnati in the game between the two clubs scheduled for this Sunday, January 8, 2023, and Baltimore and Cincinnati are scheduled to play one another in a wild card game the following weekend, the site of the game will be determined by a coin toss supervised by the commissioner. Unless both conditions are met, the site of any wild card game involving Baltimore and Cincinnati should be determined per Article 20 of the Constitution and bylaws. So, I mean, right there, right? If Kansas City loses tomorrow, Buffalo's playing. But with the problem is right now, and again, we'll go to the New York Times playoff predictor because this thing is actually decent. And when you go to the Bills, right? First of all, they got 100% chance of making it. Now, they still have a 31% chance at a bye week and a 69% chance to host a wild card, right? So if the Chiefs win and the Bills, they take care of business, they are right. I believe they host the wild card. But the Bills can, I'm pretty sure if the Bengals were to win, and no, they host the wild card there as well. I think with the way this is working out, in terms of the scenarios for the Bills, Jesus Christ, I think we're all hoping here. I think we're all, first of all, I think we're all hoping that Jarrett Stidham and them take care of business. So there's even no discussion on what's going to be happening, right? But if you look at the Bills right now and all these changes that are happening right now, so the Bills, they can clinch a first round bye and home field advantage with a win and a Chiefs loss, right? Now, the problem is if they lose and the Bengals win, the Bills drop to the number 3 seed. They're no longer the number 2 seed. So, if they win and the Chiefs win, they will be the number 2 seed locked in. They won't be the number 3 seed. So, and again, if the Bills win and the Chiefs win, then they would, and if they meet in the AFC Championship. So, if the Bills win this weekend and the number 2 seed, and this is why they want the number 2 seed. This is why they don't want the number 3 seed. They want the number 2 seed because if they finish in the number 2 seed and they face the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship, it would be played at a neutral site. But if they're the number 3 seed because they lose on Sunday and the Bengals win and they have to face the Chiefs in the AFC Championship, it will not be played at a neutral site. It will be played in Kansas City. So they need the number 2 seed to have a chance at a neutral site in the AFC Championship game. Otherwise, if they are the number 3 seed, they will be playing in Kansas City in the AFC Championship game. So that's how this works. That's literally how this works. Because if you're the number 2 seed, that's where everything I read to you explains that if you're the number 2 seed, you fall under the qualifications of what? You are now a team falling under the qualifications that you could have been the number 1 seed had you played a full 17-game schedule. It literally says that in the wording. Therefore, it'll be at a neutral site. If you do not fall under those parameters, again, what did the wording say? Then the top seeded team will be hosting the game. So if you're the 3 seed, it won't be at a neutral site because the win against Cincinnati wouldn't have mattered. The win against Cincinnati would not have mattered if you lose this weekend. That's what that's saying. Bengals would have finished as the 2 seed with a win this weekend. So, the Bills have to play. And the thing is, all these games are happening at the same time. Like in terms of the Bengals, it's not like the Bengals are playing at 1 and the Bills are playing at 4. That's not what's happening. So the Bills need to play because they need that number 2 seed to lock it up, because that's their only chance at a neutral site. If they lose to the Patriots and they got to go to KC, they're going to be going to KC in the AFC Championship game. And they're going to be saying to themselves, man, if we just played. And I'm telling you, because of what just happened to DeMar, the energy, the vibe, they want to go out and win this game. They want to go out and win this game this weekend for this kid. And they're going to probably kick the crap out of the Patriots. So that's how this all works out, man. Right? If you lose this weekend and the Bengals win, you are the number 3 seed, and that AFC Championship game potentially between you and Kansas City is no longer at a neutral site. That's literally what that is. So, yeah, the Bills will start. We'll play their starters. Brother, all we need is their starters for a half. Just put up 28 points in the first half and it's over. Just put up, right? And it's over. That's over. So where we're at, man, we just need the Bills to take care of business, and I think they will, because they're playing the number 2 seed. The problem is the way they've made this, they've made the number 2 seed valuable. The way they've structured this has been to avoid teams sitting people. They've made the number 2 seed valuable now to the Bengals and the Bills. They've given both the Bengals and the Bills incentive to go out and play for the number 2 seed, because if either one of them wins and finishes in the number 2 seed on Sunday, and then they go to the AFC Championship game, they get the neutral site. So the Bengals and the Bills have something to play for on Sunday, not just the Bills. It's actually smart if you think about it, the way they set it up. So I ain't hating. That's just the way that they've set it up. So, right? They've tried to make this weekend worth something. So, we'll see how it goes, man. We will see how it goes. But that is the situation. That is where we are sitting at right now. And that is why, you watch the Bills game. You also got to watch the Bengals game. Everything matters on Sunday. So, going to be a good day of football. Going to be an interesting day of football as well. So, I mean, can the Dolphins finally get in? We're about to find out, aren't we? All right. Let's get into this. It is week 18. Man, from 8-3 to 8-8. Who thought we'd be sitting here? But here we are. All right. So, how does it look this weekend weather-wise as we head into Miami? This is what you're dealing with if you're heading out to the game. Man, if you're heading out to the game, man, be vocal, right? When the defense is on the field, we need you to be as loud as possible. When the offense is on the field, hush amongst the crowd. Let Skylar work, man. Let Skylar cook. All right, so this is what we're looking at. Partly cloudy throughout the day. It's going to get cloudy through quarter 3 to quarter 4. Precipitation probability is at only about 3%. It's going to feel like 79 and get up to about 82. Humidity is going to be around 64, 63% throughout the game. So listen, it's going to be, it was colder, on Christmas Day, right? The Packers were dealing with much cooler circumstances than the Jets will be dealing with come Sunday, right? Like the Jets are getting more of that, up here. That's that's summer weather up here. That's 27 degrees Celsius up here. So I mean, that's summer weather y'all are getting down there up here. We usually go from about 27 to about 40 Celsius in the summer. And so yeah, that's summer weather right there, man. Right there, yeah. The Jets have got some, bro. I hope Flacco don't get that old man rejuvenation from the vitamin D coming through the sun that day. Good God Almighty. So yeah, that's your weather report, man. Just cheer hard, be safe, enjoy your soda pops, And, have a good time, man. Enjoy your adult soda pops, Have a good time, but also be safe. Root on your team. And I'm hoping all of you that go this weekend are blessed with a playoff berth, being able to view a playoff berth. I really do. I really do, man. I hope all of y'all are blessed with something like that, man. So we deserve it. Let's be honest with ourselves. The injury report, final injury report for the week that was released today on Friday. Tagovailoa. I mean, you'll hear Daniel talk about it tomorrow in our interview that'll be dropping tomorrow morning. They're being very vague. They're being very, very quiet and hush-hush on the concussion. He is out. He was deemed out today. Terron Armstead is now listed as doubtful, along with Kendall Lamb. It is looking like, guys, Skylar Thompson could be dealing with Greg Little. So not just Tua missing games when it matters, but now we got Terron Armstead missing games when it matters too. Oh, my God. If we can somehow miss the playoffs and he can come back a little bit more healthy and Tua can come back, oh, please. But Kendall Lamb out. Cedric Wilson is doubtful as well. Teddy Bridgewater was questionable. He's looking like he's going to be the backup. Bradley Chubb, he's trending towards playing this weekend. So is X. Alec Ingold continuing. He'll be playing this week. What a warrior, right? Playing against the Patriots in just like a mere 24, 48 hours after having surgery. Absolute stud. Javon Holland, he's questionable. He's popped up with a quad injury this week. Sorry, shoulder injury. I apologize. It's Eric Rowe has the quad injury, but Javon Holland popped up with a shoulder injury, but he's a full participant. Cater, Jalen Phillips, Jalen Waddle, they're knocked up. Now, Eric Fisher was moved to the IR today. This guy, they bring him in, and he doesn't even end up playing a freaking snap for us. Straight to the IR goes Eric Fisher. So don't expect to see him. Now on the flip side, Dwayne Brown, Brandon Echols, George Fant, Nate Herbig, LaMarcus Joyner, some big names are also out for the New York Jets. They're dealing with some serious injuries on that offensive line right now. They're having to rely on guys like Mike Reimers and Lauren Duvernay-Tardif and Cedric Ogbuki. So Ogbui. They're dealing, other than Laken Tomlinson and Connor McGovern, they have those are the only two remaining healthy starters on their offensive line. So their offensive line is banged up, right? So, both teams beat up heading into week 18. They got nothing to play for. We got something to play for. And it's always the teams that got nothing to play for that are usually the most dangerous, right? So we'll see how that all shakes out. How these two teams do stack up when you face them up against each other. You see the Dolphins taking dips. We're no longer the number 2 passing offense, no longer the number 5 total offense, and no longer the number 9 scoring offense. We fall into the number 10 scoring offense, the number 5 total offense, and the number 3 passing offense after last week's performance against the Patriots. It took 1 week, and they've already started to unravel what McDaniel and Tua have done in terms of lifting this to a top 5 total offense, a top 2 passing offense, and a top 9 scoring offense. You already see the numbers starting to dip, but I digress. You have the number 6 total offense averaging 368.4 points per game for the Dolphins, going against the number 22, averaging only about 326.4, and that's with all the different quarterbacks they've had coming in and out of the lineup over there in New York as well. The passing offense is number 3, no longer number 2 in Miami. It is averaging about 273.2 yards per game, down from about, 274, 276, or it was about that last week. Anyways, against the number 15 passing offense, averaging about 223.4 yards per game are the Jets. Rushing, base battle of the cellar dwellers. The 27th overall rushing offense going against the number 25, but at least they average over 100 yards. Jets average 103 per game. while the Dolphins average 95.3. Scoring offense, the Dolphins have dropped from 9 to 10. They're averaging 20. They went from averaging 24.3 points per game to now 24.1, while the Jets average 18.1 per game, which is 27th in the NFL. Third down offense, the Dolphins are 24th, 36.6% as that number continues to dip. But look at that. We found someone even worse. The Jets are 28th in the NFL right now, converting at a meager 33.9% clip. Total defense, though, this is where the disparities flip once more. The Jets are on the positive side of this one, though, as they have the number 3 total defense. They're allowing only 311.6 yards per game. The Dolphins allowing 347.3 yards per game, good for 20th. Passing defense, you were talking the Jets now have overtaken the Packers from a couple weeks ago. The Packers were the number 2 passing defense in the NFL. Now it's the Jets. The Jets allowing only 192.5 yards per game, while the Dolphins, they're 27th. They are allowing 240.1 yards per game. Rushing defense, the Dolphins, 107.1 yards per game allowed, is best for 8th in the NFL, while the Jets, they're 16th, allowing 119.1 yards per game. On a scoring defense look, the Jets are the number 4 scoring defense in the NFL. 19.1 points per game is what they allow with the Dolphins. They allow more than a top 10 scoring offense. The Dolphins are the 10th scoring offense, and right now we allow 24.6 points per game, which is 27th. We allow half a point more per game than our number 10 overall scoring offense, which was, even when it was number 9 last week, we're allowing more points per game than our number 9 scoring offense that Tua was leading. Sacks, Dolphins have allowed 40, which is 12th best. They've allowed 44. Sorry, they've gotten 40, while the Jets have gotten 44. So 4 sacks is the difference between 12th and 7th. Third down defense, the Jets are 12th best. They get off the field 38.5% of the time, while the Dolphins are 24th. They get off the field only 41.5% of the time. Ugh. Takeaways, the Dolphins, they are 30th in the NFL. They have 14. Jets, not much better. They only have 16 takeaways or 26. Now, giveaways, the Dolphins have only given away the ball as an offense 21 times, tied for 15, while the Jets have given away 23 times, which is 26. So, takeaway opportunities are going to be there, but I feel like we talk about that every week, and the Dolphins never take away the ball. So, you figure that one out. Come on, Javon. We need a pick 6 this weekend, brother. Kyle Duggar can do it. So can you, kid. All right. Keys to victory for this weekend offensively is where we'll start. McDaniel and Bevel better have Skylar prepared against the number 2 pass defense in the NFL. Sauce is he's blowing away everyone's expectations. Sauce has been absolutely probably going to win Defensive Player of the Year. He's been lights out. Sauce just doing the damn thing. Sauce already has 2 interceptions, I mean, they get picks over there, right? LaMarcus Joyner, he's out, but, I mean, he has had 3 interceptions this year. Sauce has 20 pass deflections this year. That's ridiculous. He's got 20 pass deflections and 2 picks. And, you're just going to have to you're going to have to find a way to get it done against a really good. I mean, Sauce Gardner is only allowing this year in coverage a 49.3 passer rating. Jordan Whitehead, 91. Michael Carter, 81.9. Like, they got guys out there, man. They got guys out there. So you're going to have to listen. And I said this with Daniel, and you'll see it tomorrow when it drops. You'll never have this season, you will never have Skylar Thompson ready to be a full-time NFL starter, but you can have him prepared for this game. Number 2, if Raheem the Dream is cooking, make him a focal point. Listen, you look at when Purdy beat us. You look at when Herbert beat us, McCaffrey, Eckler. You look at teams who have beat us lately with running backs being the focal point against us. Raheem's been screaming to be a focal point of this offense the last couple weeks. He's been arguably our best offensive player. Feed him out of the backfield. He's been making people miss, whether you're handing the ball off to him or whether you're hitting him on a swing pass coming out of the backfield. He's been making people miss. His effort has been A+. His motor has been high octane. Listen, people are going to say, even I have said, this season's on Skylar's shoulders. Change the narrative. Put him on Raheem's this weekend, and he can get it done, man. Raheem's been playing really, really well. And also, the offensive line just cannot repeat what they did last week. I mean, there's just no if, ands, or buts about it. They let the number 2 and the number 3 guys down. They allowed 20 pressures last week. The offensive line is going to have to be better. The offensive line wasn't getting the push necessary in the run game. That's why we had 27 carries for just over 86 yards. It was because our offensive line, Liam Eichenberg, whiffing in the run game. Robert Hunt taking penalties and whiffing, in his pass sets or his run sets. Got to be better, man. Connor Williams had arguably his worst game of the season for us. And now Greg Little's going to be out there, and we saw what Greg Little did for us last week with potentially no Armstead this week because he's doubtful. This offensive line cannot repeat last week's performance if we're going to stand a chance. Against this defense, no. You can't. You can't. That's just not going to be good enough. It's just not going to be good enough. So for me, again, McDaniel and Belleville better have Skylar prepared against the number 2 pass defense. If Raheem the Dream is cooking, make him a focal point. And the offensive line just can't repeat last week's performance. Plain and simple. All right? Now, keys to victory for me defensively in this game when I look at it. Don't care who's at quarterback. Flacco, Mike White. I don't care. Forced turnovers. Okay? Is this so much to ask of this defense? I need a multi-turnover game. All right? I want it. I need it. All right? Their quarterbacks have thrown 14 interceptions this season. 3 from Flacco in 4 games. 4 from Mike White in 4 games. And 7 from Zach Wilson in 9 games. I need it, baby. All right? Please. I don't care who the quarterback is. Don't care. Forced turnovers. No excuses. Number 2, Jets haven't rushed for 100-plus yards since week 13. Do not be the team that they changed that against. Please, God, every time I mention don't be this team in the run game, don't be that team in the run game, you end up being it. They have not rushed for over 100 yards as a team since they rushed for 120 against the Minnesota Vikings in week 13. Donovan Knight had 90 yards on 15 carries. Elijah Moore had 10 yards. James Robinson had 10 yards. Mike White and Ty Johnson put up another 10 combined between them. They have not rushed for 100 yards as a team since week 13. Do not be the team they change that against. Do not. And number 3, get out the field on 3rd down. Come on, man. If we're sitting here and Joe Flacco and Donovan Knight continuously are converting 3rd downs against us, Josh Boyer ain't it. I'm going to tell you this right now. Josh Boyer ain't it. Confirmed. Confirmed. Get off the field on 3rd down. There is no excuse this week. other than Garrett Wilson, what do they have right now that's even remotely worrying you? Nothing. Maybe Elijah Moore, but, nothing. I ain't trying to sit here and watch this team convert third downs against us and beat us. I ain't here for it. All right? All right, my matchup to watch in this game, could have gone Skylar versus Flacco, really, if I wanted to, but I'm going Skylar Thompson against that Jets defense. I could have put Darrell Bevell and Mike McDaniel right over Skylar's shoulders there. But the three amigos, Skylar, McDaniel, and Darrell Bevell, they better figure it out against this Jets defense with Skylar. After I saw you dropping this man, when we were down by 2 last week and you're dropping him back like we were down by 11, you better have a good game plan because, see, they're even better, they're even good at the second level, these guys. Right? Like, C.J. Mosley is not a jabroni. Quincy Williams is not a jabroni. Quan Alexander is not a jabroni. Then you add in that front with Carl Austin, Quinnen Williams, Sheldon Ranklins, John Franklin Myers, Solomon Thomas. They got, their front seven is imposing. Add in Gardner, Sauce Gardner, Michael Carter, Jordan Whitehead came over from Tampa Bay. Yeah, man, they're a good defense. Skylar Thompson has his work cut out for him for his first professional football win. It ain't the preseason anymore, kid. No longer are guys who are stocking shelves at Lowe's and a Home Depot covering your guys. It's the real deal now. And the last time Skylar played the Jets, didn't go so well. The game was tight. It got a little out of hand at the end there. But it was tight for 40 minutes of it, 45 minutes of it. And, maybe even 50 minutes of it. And now we're going to see, has he made growth? This is also good for us. We are going to get a real good answer because we've seen Skylar play the Jets once before. We're going to get an answer if Skylar's made any growth as the season's gone on. No? We're going to get some answers on Skylar's growth as the season's gone on. So another little interesting thing to watch out for. Right? All right, let's get into it. Some Barry Jackson's 6 packs of notes for today, Friday, January 6th. This is what it is, and I agree, T.E. Skylar got to use those legs, man. Got to extend those plays, kid. All right, bad news on Dolphins' final injury report and what Thompson has told himself all week. The Dolphins appear likely to be out with their best offensive lineman for a second game in a row Sunday. Left tackle Taron Armstead was listed as doubtful for Sunday's game against the Jets because of 4 injuries: a hip, toe, knee, and pectoral muscle. Coach Mike McDaniel said it's lower body injuries that are limiting him. Greg Little likely would start in his place. Jaron Christian claimed off waivers from Kansas City on Thursday. Might back up Little at left tackle. Yep. They signed Jaron Christian and they moved Eric Fisher to IR. If Armstead misses a game on Sunday, he will have ended up missing 4 games this season and most of a 5th. He has never played a full NFL season. The Dolphins listed linebacker Bradley Chubb, Xavier Howard, and Teddy Bridgewater as questionable for Sunday's game, but Coach McDaniel indicated he was optimistic all would be available on Sunday. McDaniel expects Bridgewater to be able to back up starting quarterback Skylar Thompson on Sunday. Bridgewater has been limited this week with a dislocated pinky on his throwing hand. Howard missed the New England game after a knee-to-knee collision in practice 3 days before that game. It was very frustrating, especially for a Thursday practice getting ready for that game, and it couldn't happen, Howard said Friday. Feel good now. I'm ready for this week. Alec Ingold and safety Eric Rowe were also listed as questionable. The 5 Dolphins listed as questionable all practice on a limited basis Friday. Besides Armstead, the other 2 players listed as doubtful are Cedric Wilson and backup offensive tackle Kendall Lamb. None of these players practiced on Friday. Tagovailoa remains in concussion protocol and is out for Sunday officially. As Thompson prepares for his second NFL start on Sunday, a game Miami needs to win to keep alive any playoff hopes, he keeps reminding himself of the same message. One thing I've been telling myself all week is I don't have to be a hero. I like that mindset, Skylar. Good thinking, kid. Skylar said at his locker Friday, I just got to be Skylar Thompson. That's what I'm excited to do. Smile, have fun, and play the game I love. I've got 2 of the best receivers in the league on my team. I know those guys are going to make plays for me. We've got great skill guys around me. I don't have to be perfect. Distribute the football. Be confident. Move the chains. I love it, Skylar. Let's go, kid. Love the mindset. Beautiful stuff, Skylar. Now let's see you put it to action on the field. Thompson said he was told Friday that he'd be starting against the Jets. It's a tough situation for me to get this opportunity. Seeing Tua and Teddy deal with some injuries, it's never how you want it to happen. I have a great opportunity to see it play out this week. It's exciting. One key in his preparation is I've been able to get all the reps with the ones and build trust, build continuity in the huddle and on the field. The most important thing is to be myself when I get out there. I've had the opportunity to be the leader I am this week, take ownership of the huddle, and do all the things that suit me. I'm excited to see the work all week translate to Sunday. He said there's no need for McDaniel to limit the offense. The way I've prepared this year, the way I've studied the playbook hasn't really put Coach McDaniel in a position where he has to simplify a bunch of stuff for me, he said. Here's one mechanical issue that he discussed with quarterbacks coach Darrell Bevel. Last weekend, I felt in the game, it was my first or second read wasn't there. I got hurt early, and I felt there were times it kind of sped me up a little bit. He said instead he wants to remain calm and take a step up in the pocket and get to the neck progression in his read. I did that a couple of times. They were definitely happy feet a little bit, and I think some of that translates to those were my first live reps of the week. I've got to be confident, trust my arm, trust my feet. Liam Eichenberg, who allowed 7 quarterback pressures against the Patriots, said he was rusty. Yeah, that's an understatement. Since his first game back from October 30th, it was sloppy. He said a lot of things I can work on. Oh, my God. Mike Glennon, who could be elevated as a 3rd quarterback Sunday, hadn't played in the league this season. In his career, he's 6 of 25 for 20. He's 6 wins, 25 losses with a 78.6 passer rating. 47 touchdowns and 35 interceptions. He kept in state this season by working out near his home in Raleigh, North Carolina, and throwing to North Carolina State players. I've been home all year, but I figured I'd come down here and do what I can try to do to help this team out. I feel fresh. I'm sure these guys are worn down, but fresh faces, new playbook to learn, and kind of cram it in the week. But I feel like I can pick up things and do what I can do to help in this week. It's definitely a unique situation. I was watching the game the other day, just like most NFL fans, and I see Teddy go down, and kind of whenever a quarterback goes down this year, you say, well, maybe that'll be a shot. I saw the thing last week that said 64 NFL starting quarterbacks this year was like a record since the strike, and I'm thinking, well, there's something that's telling that this might be over. This is the year. Glennon said his son was all fired up because he sees Jalen Waddle do the little Waddle thing, so he's excited for it. Communication issues continue to hurt the Dolphins secondary. Both touchdowns, passes allowed against the Patriots were the byproduct of that. On one with Noah Benogany in coverage, Sam Addison said because of the situation that he was in, being that he was on the left and they had the safety out to the right, being able to look over there and being able to communicate ahead of time was just a situation where they didn't communicate very well. The communication has to be quicker. Fox is sending Dolphins jets to a significant part of the country, but only 4 markets in Florida: Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, Naples, Fort Myers, and Jacksonville. The rest of the state gets Tampa, Atlanta. Joe Davis and Daryl Johnson, Fox's number 2 team, call their 3rd Dolphins game in 6 weeks. Miami needs a win and a Buffalo win against New England to make the playoffs. So the entire nation gets doubleheaders on both CBS and Fox on Sunday. The CBS and Fox stations in Miami, Fort Lauderdale will host the AFC East games at 1 p.m. and NFC East games at 4:25 p.m. So you see the injuries are stacking up. No Armstead when we could really use him to help out Skylar. Skylar needs all the help he can get, man. He needs all the help. He needs all the help right now, and it would be nice to have some help out there from Taron Armstead. But now we are seeing exactly why, right? Now we are seeing exactly why all these other teams didn't want to pay Taron Armstead. Now we know why we got him at the the yearly cost we got him at. It's evident, right? So, anyways, continuing on. And let's go here. Underperforming Dolphins defense. You hate to see it, man. You hate to see it. Underperforming Dolphins defense could cost Boyer his job, but he's at peace with whatever happens. The big question going into the 2020 season for the Miami Dolphins defensive coordinator Josh Boyer was if he could run his unit without the backing of ex-coach Brian Flores. Though unexpected personnel losses, myriad of injuries, and probably some shortcomings of his own, Boyer has not answered that call. Entering Sunday's regular season finale against the New York Jets, the Dolphins have the third fewest takeaways in the NFL with 14, and own the 27th ranked passing defense and scoring defense, number 24 third down defense, and number 20 total defense. Oof. When the Dolphins started the season with a 27 victory over the New England Patriots, in which they forced 3 turnovers and scored defensively on one of them, this was far from the expectations for a unit that excelled in the second half of the 2021 season and was largely kept intact over the offseason. Regardless of what the future holds for Boyer in Miami, he's at peace and feels fortunate to be in the position he's in. I think more of like Lou Gehrig of July 4th, 1939. I feel like the luckiest man on earth. I do, Boyer said. As said in an impassioned moment speaking to reporters Thursday. And whatever comes my way, I'll be okay. Whatever comes our way, we'll be okay. But we're going to keep moving forward. Boyer is operating with no regrets as he remains steadfast in his approach to live in the present while not dwelling on the past, growing anxious towards the future. I think you can learn from the past, but I just don't think you can live in the past. And I don't think you can worry about the future. I don't think that's a good way to live. I live, I would say, with a fearless peace because I'm very fortunate for the things that I have. I'm very fortunate for the opportunities I have. And whatever happens, regardless of right, wrong, or indifferent, I'll be okay. The Dolphins have a number of ready-made excuses available to them as to why the defense hasn't performed. They haven't had cornerback Byron Jones all season after he remained on the physically unable to perform list for the offseason lower left leg surgery. The defense then lost safety Brandon Jones, Emmanuel Ogbah, and Nick Needham for the season. Boyer was not interested in entertaining any of those excuses Thursday. He relayed some of his own hardships in life that he's had to overcome. Look, when I was born with a collapsed lung. The doctors told my mother I wasn't going to live. From day one, you deal with what's in front of you and you do the best you can. I'm very fortunate. I have a beautiful wife who's fiercely loyal, a beautiful 3-year-old daughter who's very strong-willed, and a sweet little girl. I have 2 great parents that I would say broke the cycle of poverty for our family. Hell, I even like my in-laws. I got great in-laws. I get to come to work every day with guys that are highly motivated, that want to win. They work their ass off, and they don't really pay attention to, okay, well, we've had this. They just keep working. All that said, Boyer is not ready to review his season as a whole yet, and that's because there's still one game left to play that could determine if the Dolphins qualify for the postseason or not, needing a win against New York and a Patriots loss to Buffalo on Sunday. It's unfinished because the season's not finished, he said. Our record, our stats, those are what they are. There's a time and a place to go back and review and look at all that. Obviously, we self-scout as we go, and then we try to make changes we think need to be made. But all of our focus right now is on Thursday and what we have in practice and the Jets. Jerome Baker echoed a similar sentiment analyzing the defense's season. We definitely have a lot more that we can take care of. We've been growing every week, and we try to continue to do that, and hopefully that goes on to more weeks. Overall, I know we can do better. There's always room to improve, and with Byron Jones never available to play this season and Boyer's defense so largely based on having he and fellow cornerback Xavier Howard lock down their sides, Dolphins defensive back coach Sam Madison said Thursday he hasn't had much communication of late with Jones. I think he could have helped us, but injuries, they come up. Things happen. Some people fight through them, some people don't. But right now, we can't really worry about it. We can't really worry about the guys we have. Jones' availability could have changed much for Miami's defense this season, but Boyer still refuses to utilize that excuse. I think you have to adapt to what you have available to you. I'm sure there's other teams that are dealing with quality players that are not there and have to adapt and deal with that. Boyer is completing his third season as the Dolphins defensive coordinator. His first came to Miami with former coach Brian Flores from New England in 2019 as a defensive pass game coordinator and cornerbacks coach. He held quarterbacks coach, defensive backs coach, and defensive assistant roles with the Patriots from 2006 through to 2018, winning 3 Super Bowls there while tied to Flores until this season. And, you got to wonder, did Sam Madison throw Byron Jones under the bus? I think he could have helped us, but injuries, they come up. Things happen. Some people fight through them. Some people don't. And I know when Barry Jackson brought up that quote, he tried to backpedal a little bit and save some face and be like, well, I don't think Sam. But I think they're kind of, it's what I've been telling you, man. Byron, he's out for the bottom line. He's got no guaranteed money left. I heard he was able to go week 1, just not 100%. And without financial securities, he wasn't either going to A, hurt himself, or B, put bad tape out. That's going to affect his bag in this offseason because he knows he's out of here. We already showed our hand. We already tried to move off of him. The play for us was we were going to go after J.C. Jackson, and it just didn't work out. So, listen, you got Boyer out here saying he's at peace. Man, enough of this at peace, accepting that you're going to get fired. Go out and get it done. Listen, I think somehow we're going to sneak this one out. I don't know what's telling me. I think the defense is going to show up. I think you are going to have one of the better defensive performances of the year from our defense. I if you want my prediction on this game, I could see us winning this game like 13-9. I think I liked what I saw from the defense against the Patriots. Now, if they can carry that at home, you take away the pick 6 and such like that. Listen, again, we are against a team that turns the ball over. Force them. Show me why you're in the Pro Bowl. Our front 4, front 5, whatever we send, has been stellar all year. Let's force some fumbles. Let's get some takeaways. Because I'm going to tell you this right now. If there's ever a game we're going to need the defense to win us it's this week. And the thing I do and will always give Flores for, when things weren't clicking, that guy found a way for the defense to win us games. And I see Jimmy saying, I'm just ready to get the season over. Listen, I want the playoffs. I don't care how you get there. We ain't out of this yet. Get to the playoffs. They are right in front of you. They've been staring you down for 5 weeks. This is your final chance, and you need help now. I know some people just want to move on and they want the sweeping changes, but you play to win. You play to get to the playoffs. The regular season is played to get to the playoffs. I don't care how pretty it is. I don't care how ugly it is. Just get there. Literally, just get there. And that's where I'm at. Just get there. I don't care what it takes you. Anyone sitting here saying, I just want the season over, I just want them to move on. Why? The second season starts, the playoff starts, anything's possible. Jay Glazer already told us all what the deal was. Jay Glazer's the most plugged-in person there is. With players and everyone. What did he tell you? Tua's telling people next to him, if we get to the playoffs, he's coming back. If Tua comes back, if Teron Armstead gets healthy, X gets, if these guys can get healthy and we can get some healthy bodies back, the sky is the limit for this team. We saw what they did with backups on defense in the first 12 weeks of the season. I ain't trying to hear nothing. We just got to get there, man. Shout out to Justin. He said Skylar needs to hold it down till Tua can come back in the playoffs. I agree, man. Smash that like button, please. Please, ladies and gentlemen, help me out. I need the help right now with the fair weather fickle fans who just want to hear the negative stuff or just don't even want to hear the Dolphin stuff. I mean, smash that like button, man. Smash that like button and support all your favorite Dolphin content creators, man. All right? we do this stuff for you guys to give you guys content, man. So, you know, support your favorite Dolphins content creators, whoever that may be. Make sure whenever you go to their videos, including mine, smash that like button. If you're new, subscribe, please. We're about 660 away from 11K. So, listen. There's a job to be done. Get it done. You had a week to prepare, and this is the week where I know he said, well, McDaniel doesn't have to change the playbook. I don't care. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Keep it simple this week. I don't need Skylar throwing us 40 times and we only run the ball 27. Run the ball 30-plus times. Jesus. Stop acting like you're allergic to it. The run will be his best friend. Keep them honest. Do what you got to do. Man, I just want this dub. I want the playoffs so bad, ladies and gentlemen. Man, you know, I watched the 90s, right? I started really watching this team, you know, and my memories go back to like the 89 season where my first memory started. But I know I was on with my dad watching them even before that, right? And, you know, I want the playoffs. I remember when this team was a perennial contender every offseason. And come on, they're right there staring us down. This is now going to be the 6th week we've had to close this situation out. 6 weeks. Get it done. Like, don't y'all want it? Come on, man. Dig deep down. Find whatever you got to find. Dig it up out of you and get it done this weekend. It's bad enough we're 8-8. It's bad enough we've gone from 8-3 to 8-8. At least give me 9-8 in the playoffs. We deserve this. We've earned this. Okay? So, guys, tomorrow, all right? Between 9 to 11 a.m., so morning time, I will be dropping my interview with Daniel Oyefusi of the Miami Herald. Make sure you tune in. Y'all are gonna really like it, man. So check it out. It'll be dropping tomorrow morning for all of y'all. Me and Daniel Oyefusi, we talked about Harbaugh, Brady, Lamar Jackson, Sean Payton, Tua, McDaniel, Boyer. We talked about it all. It's a great conversation. Y'all are gonna love it. Smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new. I will see y'all tomorrow for the video, and then I'll be back on Sunday for the live reaction to this game. Potentially the last live reaction of the season. Hope y'all show up and show out. I love each and every one of you. Let's get the dub this Sunday, please. Fins up, baby. All day, every day. Appreciate all of y'all. Let's get this W, man. Nothing left to say.